has expressed his disappointment with the bipartisan report for failing to address the cost of living, the veteran opposition leader terming it as the beginning of a struggle.
Odinga, who spoke after chairing the coalition's leadership summit and the parliamentary group meeting, discredited or said that the document is imperfect and unfinished, even as he indicated Azimio's conditional support of the controversial document. Azimio has further reiterated that the entrenched new proposed offices, those of opposition leader and Prime Minister, as Apollo Kamau reports.
In what Azimio described as the beginning of another struggle, and after a long-day meeting of the coalition summit and the parliamentary group, Azimio coalition leader Raila Odinga finally shared his much-anticipated sentiments, punching holes in the bipartisan report, expressing his disappointment in a report he called imperfect and unfinished. Odinga stating that Azimio coalition will not shy away from calling Kenyans to action to force the government to reduce the cost of living.
We made it clear that we will support the document ensuing from the talks, but we will treat the hard line on the cost of living at the beginning of another phase of this struggle. The document the team has come up with is ultimately imperfect and unfinished, but it is a good beginning. We have agreed to disagree on the most important matter to us.
On the question of his team's involvement in the so-called imperfect report, Odinga defended how the Azimio team fought to have the cost of living lowered during the talks and blamed the Kenya Kwanza side for allegedly refusing to deal with the issue. Azimio also lamented of their allegedly rejected points that involved the Finance Act 2023, which they wanted overhauled, with the housing levy scrapped and VAT on fuel products reduced from 16% to 8%.
Our team realized that the whole issue of cost of living is extremely sensitive in the Kenya Kwanza circles because it is a gravy train on which many corrupt interests have converged. Cost of living cannot come down because the key people in the government are eating from it.
Odinga's statement on the report forestalling a split in the coalition after hardline positions emerged on the report, with Azimio principals Martha Karua and Eugene Wamalwa leading the hardliners who rejected the report for apparently failing to tackle the cost of living. On key slots negotiated between the two sides, the official leader of the opposition and the Prime Minister's post, the opposition has said the country must go for a referendum, a position not supported by Kenya Kwanza.
To create the office of the leader of opposition or to formalize the office of the Prime Cabinet Secretary, the people of Kenya have to have their say by way of a referendum.
There were, however, positive takeaways by the opposition from the report. Among them, consensus on the audit of the 2022 presidential election results, the restructuring and the reconstitution of the IEBC, the extension of Supreme Court petition hearings from 14 to 21 days, the transfer of devolved factions, and the creation of the Ward Fund. Despite adopting the report half-heartedly, Azimio still has an unfinished business with Kenya Kwanza on the issue of the cost of living, an agenda which will now be taken to the people. Apollo Kamau, TV47 in Nairobi.